You're watching the Rebel Scum podcast.
You are always scum.
Rebel Scum.
From odds making to list rankings, we've got you covered. And don't forget to join us on Patreon for early access and exclusive content. Here are your hosts, Brock and James.
James, what a Star Wars week I've had. Have I told you of all the things I've done this week?
Nope.
I think maybe I did parts of it.
Well, you might have, but I'm saying no for the sake of the show.
I know. Let me finish my sentence. I think on the live stream we did last night or last week, I can't remember what time it is. I went to the VR, Star Wars VR at the local rec room,
Yes.
which is like a Dave & Buster's in Canada. And they had the Star Wars Secrets of the Empire, and it was great. And it was the VR where you wear all the gear and you walk around in an actual place, but it looks real. It looks like somewhere else. You can put your hand out and touch where the wall is in the VR, and you feel a solid piece. So it's cool. You're in like, I think it's.
You touch it?
Yeah. You can't touch what you just feel a wall. So you know, like, it's like, is that a wall? And you touch it, and if you find VR dizzying, you can kind of like figure yourself out. But otherwise, it's just like an empty hall. Like there's nothing.
Okay.
And there's a part in it because I think you go to Mustafar. It's like a lava planet, but when people are talking, it's hard to listen to the narration. So you're the rebels disguised as stormtroopers, and you're trying to pick up some package, which turns out to be a lightsaber, of course.
Naturally.
And you get into I guess it's an elevator, but there's an actual physical panel, and you have to follow it's like Simon, where you go boop 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 just to unlock or close the security door so you can stop being shot at by stormtroopers. But there's actual buttons where you do the pattern, and it's like a physical thing. It's wild. Highly suggest you try it out if there's one in your city. Obviously, it's not Rec Room. I don't know. It's called The Void, so I don't know if that's the actual company that the Rec Room puts on, but it's great. If you're in Mississauga or Toronto, they have these. Oh, and then second Brock Star Wars news. I've been working on the set of American Gods Season 3, and I am a big fan of that show, and I totally forgot that the guy that plays Dr. Pershing, I'm totally blanking on his name. I know it's Omid Abatai. I'm totally like destroying his name, but he is a character. He is like one of the main cast on that show, and I was like, oh, Star Wars. So he was on set, and that was very, very cool.
And now you've been fired for harassing him for the last couple weeks.
I do not talk to them. I sit in my chair and I say, this is what I'm doing.
They say, I am your father.
So yeah,
That's cool.
It's cool because he's a interesting character, which I wish we could have learned more about. And as we remember, his clothing said Camino clones on it. So we're like, oh. So that was my Star Wars week. Welcome to the Rebel Scum podcast. I'm Brock.
152.
152.
I'm James.
And this is all things Star Wars and Star Wars related, and occasionally we like to talk
American
about
Gods.
90 Day Fiancé.
90 Day Fiance. You know what? 90 Day Fiance, whatever. But 90 Day Fiance Pillow Talk, Brock, is the greatest show in the history
Is that
of
like
television.
their after show?
Yeah, but it's what they do is they take former couples that were on the show, and they sit on their beds at night and watch the show and comment on it. So it's basically like, I don't know what it is. It's the peanut gallery of, it's pretty amazing. And TLC, good on you I think it's TLC everywhere, right? TLC. And good on you for thinking of an ingenious, cheap way to get Aaron and I to watch more of 90 Day Fiancé.
Oh, for sure. I'm trying to remember like the first after show. Like, I feel like maybe MTV created that concept. Definitely, like, there was Talking Dead after Walking Dead. That was
and Talking Bad after Breaking Bad.
Yeah. But I feel like MTV kind of created that with like The Hills or
Probably.
the Real OC or what? I can't remember.
Do you think they should have a Mandalorian after show?
Oh my God, yes.
And it's literally just Baby Yoda
Oh,
on a chair
it would.
waving.
Oh, I wonder how they would do it because it comes out in the morning.
Well,
Maybe.
Netflix tried it with Stranger Things, I think. I don't know if it worked or not. Was it called like After Stranger Things? And you're like, okay. Well, but Mandalorian, it could work better because, Stranger Things, they drop it all at once. So you're like, well.
I mean,
because it's weekly, you drop the episode on Friday and then you do the after show on Saturday.
I think they've kind of done it, not in a talk show format, but like I know there's like behind the scenes for like The Irishman, and there was one for Dark Crystal. So like the concept works. People probably want to watch more stuff after. Oh, I would love that. It would be great too if they were able to rope people into like watching it at a specific time.
Which I would love if season 2 was like every Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Whatever. Like just like throw it at us then and let us watch it together.
Right.
They'll never do that though because that kind of defeats the point of streaming because they want you to get it, watch on demand, right? Like when you want to watch, you get it, so it all comes out. Picard was the same thing. I haven't watched that yet this week.
Oh yeah, that just came out, right?
But that's weekly as well. I do like that these shows are going this weekly route. Like Clone Wars, I believe, is weekly. I just like everyone knows, I love my Sabrina the Teenage Witch, but it's all at once, and I'm like, you know what? I'll probably watch it next year in like a matter of a month.
It's true. It's nice, the episodic, because like if you get. And like I was watching this reality show called, fun fact about me, I have a weird new fascination with reality shows. The Circle on Netflix, where these people are like they can only talk to each other through social media, and they've never met each other in like this like sequestered hotel or whatever. And they do this thing where they give you 4 episodes at a time, and I'm like, why? Either give me the whole season or give me episodic.
That's interesting.
It's like. Now it feels like a slog, like
I did think Apple did the morning show, and what they did, which I thought was smart, because like Disney had a library of programs, right? Like they were just like, here's a billion things they can release, but Apple had nothing, just like their original content. And I thought what they did was smart was with the morning show, they gave you 3 or 4 episodes for free.
Yeah,
so, like you can watch these for free, and then if you want, and then it's weekly, and then it was weekly after that as well on Friday. Do you find it weird that Fridays is the day that these shows are dropping, like Mandalorian and whatnot? It's just I don't know about. Maybe they want you to watch it on the weekend. I'm not sure what it is. I don't like watching TV Friday night or any. I'm really. Everyone knows I'm very weird when it comes to television, but I just wish it was like Monday or Tuesday.
It's I think it's the TGIF formula.
Yeah, that might be true. But like I don't know. Whatever. That's look. Last Saturday night, I watched the entire season of The Mandalorian in one sitting. I don't know why. I just sat there. I wanted to watch the egg episode. I mentioned this on the live. I wanted to watch the egg episode, and all of a sudden it was episode 7. I was like, well, here we are. and Andrew was like, are you ever going to watch it all at once? And I said, probably not. Not even a month after it finished. I watched the whole thing straight through. Because I love every second. I really do actually love every second of that show. I mean, yeah, there's a few episodes that I'm like, meh. But it has that Dave Filoni genius where, and I'm sure not all the credit goes to him for it, but it's nothing. Everything happens for a reason. The episodes that you're like, meh, there's a reason for those episodes.
Yeah.
And that's what you really appreciate. And that, and that's what happened with Rebels. There's always these episodes in Rebels where you're like, oh God, why am I sitting through this? And then the series finale, you're like, space whales. There's always a reason for everything.
Yeah.
And that's what I appreciate.
No?
Siri.
I found this on the web for the series finale like space whales. Check it out.
Hold on. Siri just said, I found this on web for the series finale like space whales. So that doesn't make sense, right? But here's what came up. Star Wars Rebels series finale explained.
Nice.
Wow. So if you type in space whales, there 5 articles on Rebels. No. Yeah, 5 episodes on Rebels comes up. They're called Purgle. Purgle.
Purgle. Why does that sound familiar? Maybe I just read it.
That's the name of the space whales.
No, I know, but like...
But you probably just knew it.
Yeah.
Their average... I'm going on Wikipedia now because I'm clicking on it. I'm making use of Siri because I probably just use all my data first.
You know, my Alexa doesn't interrupt in the middle of a podcast.
Did I say something that sounded like, hey, Siri, don't talk?
I don't know. We have to rewind and find out.
I know, I'm going to have to. Okay, so their average height is 5.5 meters. Their average length 30 meters. Skin is blue, gray, purple, yellow. Eye color is blue, gray. Distinctions, ability to travel. Anyway, we all know that. We've all seen Rebels. If you haven't seen Rebels, you should totally check it out.
Oh.
Kanan, Clone Wars. Oh my God.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
This
We
is
haven't
not-
talked about this.
I don't know if it's on your Hollow News, but Kanan, Caleb Dune,
Yeah.
Clone Wars. I was like, bah!
Yeah. That trailer was great, and that person that found it or noticed it, I was like, that's fantastic. And it's like, I hope it's just that. It would maybe they
Imagine
say
this
something in
Freddie
the
Prinze
scene,
Jr.
but like that's it. There's no episode with them. I would be totally fine. I'm like, yes,
Oh, yeah.
that's perfection.
Imagine if he does have a line and it's Freddie Prinze Jr., but they used like old audio that they recorded when he was a kid. They went to his parents like, we need old tapes of Freddie Prinze Jr.
It's just canned lines from She's All That.
That trailer was phenomenal. I didn't get to watch. I was out all day that day, and I didn't get to watch it till late. And everybody was like, "Oh my God!" Blah, blah, blah. And I was like, "Wow, what is going on?" And I watched it, and I was like, "Was that Kanan?" And,
Yeah,
it was. And
it's funny,
everything
like
about it.
that was like the most talked about part of the whole thing.
Was it
Like,
really?
I can't even think of what else was in it. It looks awesome, but you know what I
haven't
mean?
seen anyone talk about anything specifically with the trailer, just how much it blew them away.
Yeah.
I
was-
thought, man, that Maul and Ahsoka stuff though, and it
Yeah.
takes place during Revenge. Like Revenge of the Sith is going to happen, and we're going to get this. And I gotta say, I love the Tchaikovsky. Anyway, I can't say his name, but I love that 2D Clone Wars series. Like that's one of my favorite Star Wars ever.
Samurai
And
Jack.
Part of the reason why I love that so much is it ends with Mace crushing Grievous, and then they're like, "Okay, we got to go get the Chancellor." And it goes right into the beginning of Revenge of the Sith. And that's when it ends. It just ends at the beginning of Revenge of the Sith, and I love that. I love the way it plays out, and I love the characterizations in it as well. But it's short, and they're like, well, we'll flesh it out and make it computer animated and whatever. And obviously, the Clone Wars is a huge hit, and it's awesome. The new one, I guess it's called the new one. But I'm excited to see it blend into Revenge of the Sith again.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And I'm excited to see it not even blend into it, but show us another perspective of another part of the galaxy while what we know is going on is going on.
Yeah.
That excites me to no end. And it again though with Lucasfilm, they're like, this is the end, and you're like, why does everything have to just be the end? Like, leave the door open at least,
Yeah.
Like. I mean, look, Rise of Skywalker aside, if you don't say it's the end of the Skywalker Saga, then we can all be like, well, I wonder what'll happen next. And they could be like, does somebody have a story for next? And maybe they do. But once you say it's the end, if they come out with another Skywalker movie, I'll just be like, ugh, my head hurts.
No, but it's true. It's like, does anyone fall for that stuff anymore? Like, it's so, being a comic book fan, it's like they always said that stuff. And then, like, in the last 15 years, they've retconned so many things. I remember, like, in the 90s, becoming a comic book fan, and it was like, the only thing that says true is that Gwen Stacy, Uncle Ben, and there was someone else just stayed dead. Oh, Bucky stayed dead. And they broke all those rules. Uncle Ben, I think, was first. Bucky's Winter Soldier. And now we have Spider-Gwen. And all great characters, so maybe the rules are meant to be broken, but, like, nothing is sacred anymore. Who cares? We just want it.
That's the thing.
We, as millennials, people born in the 80s to late 70s or whatever, we are now the consumer that they're trying to satiate. I don't know what the word to say, but, like, have you noticed that? Like, we're saying, like, oh, they're releasing stuff on Fridays because TGIF, the people that grew up with Family Matters and Full House and
the other
Step.
Sabrina the Teenage Witch.
Yeah.
Boy Meets World.
Yeah. Girl Meets World now.
Step by Step.
Oh, if they could do something with Step by Step, I think that would be fantastic.
Step by Step was just like a remake of the Brady Bunch, right? It was just like a soft.
Yeah, pretty well.
Let's do that. Look, I think my issue with the end of the Skywalker Saga, I really think you know, I said before, Aaron Quinton sent me a picture of that book that he has. It's called The Skywalker Saga that came out in 2014.
Oh yeah.
And then with The Last Jedi, they referred to it as The Skywalker Saga. That was the first time I ever saw like it associated with the movies. And I really do feel like saying that this is the end of the Skywalker Saga was, as much as it was George Lucas only said 9 movies, I think that it's more a knee-jerk reaction to the way The Last Jedi was received by the fan base. To be honest, I really think it was. They're like, well, I mean, people are going to rock, and Solo too. I think Solo played a factor. Solo didn't do too well. Well, guess what? This is the very last time you're going to see Luke Skywalker in a movie, and I think that was part of it. Was like, this is the last one, and then to get to create excitement that way.
Yeah.
And the need to go see it, and I mean, I think it made $1 billion, so it worked on some level, I guess. But I don't think it was necessary. I still think that this movie was going to make $1 billion regardless. I thought it was going to make 1.5. Clearly, I was wrong. If Ben Solo lived, it might have made 1.5. But I just think, stop handcuffing yourself. That's been the problem with the new regime of Star Wars from day one, is they keep handcuffing themselves. When George Lucas was handcuffed, do you know what he did? Nah, just do this. And he retconned it. He was like, whatever. He's like, oh, well, they say this in A New Hope. Well, I don't want to do that in the prequels. I want to do this. And he did it. But now they're like, everything's canon, everything's connected. And you read a canon book and you're like, well, that felt, not all of them, but sometimes you're like, well, that felt half-assed. And the reason why it is because they can't go full, because they don't know what's going to play out yet. So it's they need to stop handcuffing themselves and just let these things go. And don't call it the end of the Skywalker Saga, because if you don't do that, maybe you let the storytellers do something even more exciting than what you get. It loosens them up a little bit. Like everyone loves, I'd say The Force Awakens everybody seems to love, and The Last Jedi half love, half hate. But both of those movies are playing with there's no consequence to the actions from those movies. Like J.J. Abrams in The Force Awakens and Rian Johnson in The Last Jedi, there's no consequences. They can write whatever they want because there's another one coming. For better or worse, there's another thing coming. So they could be like, yeah, Rey, you're a nobody. And then I don't have to, yeah, she's nobody. You don't have to worry about that, right?
Yeah.
Or what's this lightsaber? A story for another time. You don't need to know anything because there's 2 more movies after that one. There's one after Last Jedi. But on the last movie, you're like, oh, is there any chance for another one? No. So, like, it just, and I know, but I don't think this was planned to just be a trilogy from the start. I think it was just planned to be, we're going to make 7, 8, and 9, and then I really believe that there was a plan for more after that. And maybe there still is, and they just won't mention Skywalker in it, which is fine, because I'm kind of over it. To be honest,
oh, yeah.
I'm like, look, I love the Skywalkers, but it's just, do your own thing. You've proved it with The Mandalorian, with Rogue One, even, I guess, Solo to an extent. You've proven that you have people around that can tell stories that aren't associated with the saga that we all know, that will, I mean, Solo box office aside, but The Mandalorian was such a huge hit, and Rogue One made a ton of money. I think compared to what they were expecting, it made a ton of money. So they have that, and just use it, and trust in the filmmakers you have is what I want to say. Trust in the people that you're hiring to do. If it's High Republic, if somebody comes in and they're like, I have an idea for the High Republic, and you believe in that idea, just trust them to the end, and don't worry about what Andrew Fantasia tweets about it.
Yeah, I keep encountering people that are like, oh, so like I saw Rise of the Skywalkers. Like, what do you think? I'm like, and I've gotten to the point, because you can sense their body language immediately, like if they liked it or not. Yeah. So you don't need to hear their answer. Maybe I should let them just answer first. But they always lead it was like, what do you think? And I'm like, you're such a judge. And I'm like, I'm easy. I liked it. I like Star Wars. It's fun. Like it's like some movies are better than others. That's just how media works. But I've been saying, I liked it, but I'm also very glad that the Skywalker Saga is over, because it's like too many people are just like rampant about how they treat your characters, but like there's no rules on how to treat the characters. Like it's like, oh, I love what you did with Luke here because it makes sense. But then another person's like, how dare you? You ruined the character. I'm like, you can't win. So, but I would agree it would be nice if they didn't focus on ending it, like you said, and just be like, we're going to have a movie line that's going down a storyline. Maybe Luke and Leia and Chewbacca aren't in it, but it somewhat relates back to the original saga. And then we have another movie line where it's like, here's your Rogue One, here's your live action, and there's already live action. Here's your Mandalorian movie that, oh yeah, we'll make it like 6 seasons in a movie. But like, you know what I mean? Like, have 2 different Star Wars storylines. I mean, they exist together somehow, but like, this is about George Lucas's characters, and this is about the Disney characters, and I think that'd be fantastic. And it's a no-brainer. And if one isn't working anymore, cut back on it and do the other one more. Like,
yeah, that's where I think, yeah, they need to. Well, George Lucas made Star Wars in 1977, and he didn't think there would be a sequel, so he had a book written called Splinter of the Mind's Eye.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Like, you know, and so he made an isolated movie that could work on its own, and if it warranted a sequel, he had one ready to go, and then obviously he changed it to Empire Strikes Back. But just work in that way. Why does everything have to be so final? I don't know. I mean, it's not. Look, I do think, and I said this, I think on last week or on a live stream. For me, whatever they approach next, worry about the conflict. And I think the problem going into the sequel trilogy with all of it, what I just said about the consequence, stems from they didn't start with the conflict. They started with what's up with Luke Skywalker. Who cares what's up with Luke Skywalker, because he has his ending. Like, he defeats the Emperor, his father turns, he loves his father, he burns his father, he's like, I'm the hero, and he's Leia, let's be brothers and sisters. Like, we know what happens to Luke, right? Like that has its ending. Palpatine, I love Palpatine, I love The Rise of Skywalker. But Palpatine's ending happened. That already happened.
Yeah.
We saw that. So what is next in the galaxy? And to Gleek Play 1 last week with their question to us, like how they didn't want another Civil War or anything. It's like, yeah, so what is next? Because we had that story. So what else is happening in the galaxy in 30 years after that? And what they ended up doing was like, it's the same thing again. You know, okay. Cool. Why?
Yeah.
I don't know, because it looked cool. All right, sure. And then, like, that was, and we go along with it because it's Star Wars and we love it. But then when you get to The Rise of Skywalker and you have to wrap it up because they've decided this is the end, you're like, well, okay, like, you know. And look, everybody fights that The Last Jedi is the greatest Star Wars movie of all time, and that's a debate for another day. But does that explain what the conflict is in this new trilogy? No. Like Force Awakens, Last Jedi, they lead you. There's no, like, you feel like there's no direction to head into the last one, and then you get The Rise of Skywalker, and everyone's like, well, that was really fast paced, and the editing is choppy, and this and that. It's like, yeah, well, it's 3 movies in one, basically. Like, it's like, because the first 2 didn't bring you anywhere, it's got to figure it all out and for whatever reason, wrap up this trilogy that doesn't need to be wrapped up. I mean, wouldn't we all watch Adam Driver as Ben Solo, Kylo Ren for another 3 to 6 movies at least?
Yep.
Right? Like, just be like, we'll milk this. You don't like this one, the next one's coming, and it's going to be... People are going to keep coming up to Star Wars movies as long as they are event films.
Yeah.
They're going to show up. They're not going to come... You know, the Obi-Wan movie might be a success. It might, if they do... you know what I mean? Like, compared to Solo, it'd probably be better, but it's still... Those small movies aren't going to do it. It's got to be these big event films that are going to draw people in. And they could have continued on with this, or they could have right away, I'm rambling, but right away they could have just been like, oh, the Skywalker Saga is over, this is the Rey Saga, and then just kind of took her away with her and Kylo and their dyad, and then not worry about Skywalkers anymore. And I know he's a Skywalker, I'm not saying that, but you focus more on Rey, and Rey is your hero, and then Ben Solo and all that gets taken care of, and then we continue with Rey, and then Rey moves on to this person's saga, and you just keep going that way. And instead, marketing, I guess, took over, and they're like, no, it's over. It's over.
Yeah.
By the way, I do love The Rise of Skywalker and The Last Jedi. They were very high on my ranking list, Brock, just so you know.
I know, I was on the episode.
Because I do not care about... I just like Star Wars.
And you like tweeted like 17 lists. Like, I know.
And they're all different. They're all very different. And you know, I like 2 weeks ago I watched The Last Jedi 4 times in 2 days.
What?
Did that piss Aaron off? I watched The Last Jedi 4 times in 2 days 2 weeks ago.
Cool.
I liked it, and I couldn't watch The Rise of Skywalker, so I just kept watching that one.
Yeah.
Whatever. Don't at me. I still think Attack of the Clones. I still think Attack of the Clones does more for Star Wars than any other Star Wars movie. I said it.
Cool. I
Think
agree
about it.
because it launched a whole like TV series.
Yes.
2 TV series.
People don't respect that movie enough, but you got Sifo Dyas, you have Clone. There's so much in there that we wouldn't have anything today because of it.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Clone Wars Season 7 doesn't exist without Attack of the Clones.
Well, yeah.
I'm just saying. Ahsoka doesn't exist without Attack.
There you go. That's a better point. Yes, the movie that starts the Clone Wars is the thing that starts the Clone Wars TV show. I agree, but I don't feel like that's an argument. Ahsoka, there you go.
Yeah, like you don't have that without this movie. So I think it did a lot for Star Wars. It's underappreciated.
Yeah.
And I know people have problem with the dialogue, but I just the storyline in that one is. I mean, that movie bleeds over into even the sequel trilogy. Like it's so important to the saga as a whole. But yeah, I don't know. I just think whatever the next thing is, focus on the conflict at hand, and then work your way from be like, this is the conflict. Okay, who are our heroes, and then bring us in.
Yeah, I don't get why they don't want to like create a Jedi Order. You know what I mean? Like or why don't they want to show the Jedis just being Jedis? Like we kind of got a taste of that in the prequels, but it really, which is fine because we're more concerned with our character of Anakin. But like one of the things that brings people to games, Fallen Order, Knights of the Old Republic, Jedi Outcast, what was the one? Force Unleashed, is you get to be a Jedi. People want to see Jedi stuff. So I think one of the letdowns of the sequel trilogy is that, so like Luke's going to have his Jedi Order or whatever he wants to call it, and you don't get that. And it's just like, why don't we just have movies about that? And I hope that this High Republic movie or series or whatever it's going to be focuses on that. Like, everyone loves watching lightsaber battles, in my opinion. If I'm wrong, put it in the comments and let's talk about it. But I think everyone loves seeing a good old sword fight. You know what I mean? So there's an artistry to it. So let's do that stuff. Like, I think I likened it to like Star Trek. Let's have the Jedi go out and do like, we're on a mission for information. Yeah. And then they're like, oh, there's a scheme being hatched on Dantooine. Oh no.
Do you think it was weird? And I think I brought this up before, but that Luke Skywalker was a myth in these ones. I just feel like his story is so separate from the rebellion in the original trilogy that they could have done, like, he didn't need to be this myth. And I'm saying this because I feel like, every time you listen to the making of a sequel trilogy, not like one day when that book comes out, #1 bestseller for years, they keep saying like every time Luke showed up, he was taking over the script, he was taking over the story, and all we could care about was Luke. And it's like, because you made him way too important. Yeah. And I know, look, and everybody's like, he's the best character, he's my favorite character. Okay, fine.
Yeah, he's the main character.
But I just said he had his storyline. His storyline was done. So why are you propping him up to be this giant mythological character in this galaxy when you could have taken it the other direction, but like nobody knew what he did? Darth Vader was blown up on the Death Star 2 by Lando and the rebels. That's all anybody knows. Nobody knows he was on Endor getting burnt. And it's just that is. I mean, I'm okay with the choice because I do like. Yeah, that's right. I like the Rey Skywalker ending. I don't really care, but it just seems like a weird choice to make him a myth, because as soon as you do that, all the emphasis is on Luke.
I like that concept. It's, it's romantic. It's like the myth, blah, blah. But I feel like it's not really played out in the sequels, and I think it's a nod to, you know, Phantom Menace is like, what do you know about Jedis? Like, oh, they have lightsaber or whatever Anakin says. I was gonna say angels, but like, isn't that something he says to Padme? Anyways, and then
Are
like
you an angel?
the hokey religion line that Han Solo says. Like, I feel like that part of it is just maybe it's not the myth of Luke Skywalker, or just I like where Rey says he's like, Luke Skywalker, he's real.
Yeah.
Like, that's wild.
It is great, but it has no. And then obviously when she meets him and he's not who she thinks he is. But I'm just saying from the writing perspective how they kept having trouble. It's like, because you built him up too big. like there are things that happen. It's like, no, like in this whole like Star Wars right now, like I still think in The Last Jedi when Rey's like, I want to know who my parents are. It's like, but you never had that question in The Force Awakens. In The Force Awakens, your narrative was you're waiting for them to come home, and now we're changing it. So I don't know. It just there's weird things where you could feel the things just weren't. Maybe in the original script of The Force Awakens, she's like, I don't know who my parents are. I don't know what kind of Daisy Ridley impression that was. But,
it wasn't bad, but it also sounds like she's trying to be Alec Guinness.
Well, you know, she might Rey Kenobi, everybody. I love the sequels. I love the prequels, and I love the originals. But I think everybody needs to learn a lesson here. And that's we are not making these movies, so let's take them for what they are. And I still think Ben Solo versus the Knights of Ren is a great scene. It's better than I thought it was when I keep watching it back to I Need a Hero on YouTube. It is you've seen that, right, Brock?
No. Like the song I Need a Hero?
Yeah, somebody cut it to I Need a Hero, and it's just like I think it's actually Rey Kenobi, but somebody did, and
it does have like an 80s choreographed scene to it.
Yeah. And actually, but Palpatine's cave and Palpatine himself felt like I was watching an 80s fantasy film, which I'm okay with. I'm definitely okay with that because it's Star Wars and I love it. But you know, I think I also one last point before we get to Never Tell Me the Odds. I think people need to relax on Star Wars. These aren't. And everybody's like arguing like, oh, they broke this myth, they broke that myth, but then there's somebody be like, no, this is the myth and that's the myth. And it's like, well, are we all just reading the wrong tea leaves on what Star Wars is?
Well, like I like talking about myths in this. It's interesting, but like don't forget the biggest like myth is like the prophecy of the chosen one, and like the movie basically points out how like the chosen one isn't some savior in the way they thought he would be. So it's sort of like Vader brings, like Anakin as Vader brings force or balance back to the Force by basically eliminating everybody, or like, you know what I mean? Like this is it's such a convoluted thing to even, I can't even describe. But you know what I mean? It's like he's the chosen one. He's going to bring back balance to the Force, and like as we've learned through the years, it's sort of. Perhaps the Jedi were just as wrong as the Sith, and it just sort of had to eliminate both of them and start from scratch. And maybe we could say that's Rey, right? Like,
yeah.
Then it kind of works. It's like, oh, now she's gone off, and now, like, her walking into the twin sunrise, as someone has pointed out, it's not a sunset on Tatooine. That is the balance. I'm like, that kind of works, and that kind of makes the whole sequel trilogy valid, I think. I
think there's a lot in The Rise of Skywalker that work a lot better than people give it credit to, because they go in with an opposing point of view to begin with, where their mind is taking them in one direction and the film took them in another. And I think when you step back and look at what it does, I think it does a lot more than it will get credit for.
Yeah.
But that's just... I don't know. I mean, I've said this a million times. 10, 20 years, that's when we're going to know where the sequel trilogy lies. When we watch them all together for a billion times, we'll be like, okay, that works.
I can't wait. I'll see you in 2040.
I'll be dead. All right, never tell me the odds.
Never tell me the odds. What are the odds today, James? I don't even think I read them.
They're brought to us by Patreon. We should do that first.
Oh, yes.
Patreon.
How quickly I forgot.
Yeah, join us on Patreon. Only 152 of these, Brock. You have to. I mean, Patreon, we haven't been doing that for that long. But 152, never tell me the odds. Do you have the Patreon list in front of you?
I do.
Start. All right, go for it.
Heidi Feder, executive producer. Barry Brophy, Dennis Allen, Christine Allison, Mary Kristen, Athan,
Nice.
Jeff Wilson, or Aton. Oh crap, I can't remember. Jeff Wilson, Aaron Quinton, Al Schuler, Phil Staniforth, Austin Schur, Scott D, Andy Haynes, Josh Price, Mason Hope,
Matt W, Rez, Rural, Farm Boy, Frank Perkins, Sooner, Thrawn, Neil Lowry, D, Raven, Spencer, Matt, Dallas, DJ Blake, Gleek Play 1, Janet Rubio, Charlotte, Kayla Davis, Girls with Sabers, and Mr. Fake News, the Den of Nerds.
Wow.
Oh, I can't call him Mr. Fake News.
Watch. He's gonna be on the podcasting stage at Celebration, and
Oh no,
and
they don't let his kind in there.
and then he's like, "Who should I have as a guest?" And it's like Brock and James Scratch. And I'm like,
Yeah, it'll be Andrew Fantasia.
no, it'd be Rob.
Rob will get in there. Rob, by the
He's
way,
like Christian Harloff.
Rob is in New York. Was in New York this past weekend or this weekend as we record, watching that schmo down there, but not with Josh. So. I call Josh fake news. Fake news because he broke the Obi-Wan story last weekend because he had information from making Star Wars, and then everybody said you're a liar, fake, and then of course it turned out to be true. So whatever. We don't like him.
Remind me again, what is the Schmodown? It's a trivia game?
Movie trivia, yeah.
Okay,
trivia.
cool.
We like Girls with Sabers, though. You should check them out. They're nice people.
Okay. I see, because they're just above on the list.
If I'm bashing Josh, I gotta say nice things about some. Like it's the yin and the yang. Right? It's the forced dyadness of it all.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Today's odds are brought to us by Patreon. Check us out, patreon.com/Rebel Scum Podcast. A lot of cool stuff. I'll always tell you about Rebel Scum Detours, RSPN Detours on YouTube. You can see like clips from the shows and little special videos as well. All right, ready? Odds. The first odds of Bo-Katan appearing in season 2 of the Mando.
On
Mando is
here,
short for Mandalorian.
on here it says Bo Karan.
Yeah, I changed that this morning, Brock. You didn't get that revised version.
No, you did not.
I guess Katan is not a real word.
Yeah.
I guess.
I think high. You've included Death Watch. You've included spoilers for anyone who hasn't seen the end of Mandalorians. You've shown the Darksaber, so why not throw more Mandalorian or Rebels / Clone Wars characters in there? Why not? Like, why not? It the pops with all the Mandalorians now, like, because like the heavy Mandalorian, and then there's one that's like covert Mandalorian, and you're like, I don't even remember this character, but then you're like, oh, the covert, it's like whatever. But I'm gonna go 75. If it's not Bo-Katan, it's gonna be someone related around that.
Yeah, I'm gonna go 87.899935.
Yeah,
she has to be in it. Darksaber. The Darksaber shows up at the end. She was the last one to be seen with it. I just feel like it's a slam dunk to include. Now, if Filoni had nothing to do with this, maybe my opinion on that would change. But because the powers that be on this series know everything there is to know about Mandalore, much more than you and I will ever know.
Yeah.
I have to think that's very high. Our next odd, the odds of, this is one that I'm really hoping, Brock, the odds of Anakin Skywalker appearing in the Obi-Wan series. Yeah. I'll tell you right now, my dream is a nice, not like an action scene, not anything like that, just a nice touching scene where Anakin talks to Obi-Wan. He's like, if I ever were to have a child, I would want my child to have my lightsaber or something like that. Just to fit into that scene from A New Hope, so we get that. Because those memes are hilarious, but I would like that very much.
Yeah, it would be. Yeah, it's a slam dunk. I've said it before. Like the Obi-Wan series, what would be great is putting in actors that we don't have another chance of putting them in Star Wars again. Totally do it. Obviously, if you heard our live stream, we talked about this Obi-Wan on hold. So it's hard to like give a number because it's like, well, it hasn't been approved, but like, I'm going to say that this show is going to happen. I think 100% Anakin needs to be in this. I mean, if they're in the fan service business right now, everyone's sort of talking about Anakin being in it on social media. Let's do it. Or at least
Yeah,
prior
but
to
everybody
this
was talking about him being in The Rise of Skywalker when we got his voice.
Yeah, that's something.
I liked his voice, but how powerful would it have been if he was there?
It'd be great. It would be great.
And our final odd, this is brought to us by, well, it's an idea brought to us by Patreon supporter Sooner Thrawn. Thanks,
What up?
Sooner, for all of your support, and thanks for this awesome odd. The odds of James Luceno writing a Palpatine novelization. Kind of on par with what we did with Dan Allen's odd from last week, but this was more specific. James Luceno writing this one, Brock.
He wrote Plagueis, right?
Yeah.
He wrote something else, did he not?
He's written a bunch of
Yeah.
the novels, and he's very good. I think he wrote did he do Catalyst?
Yeah, I think so. Because I know I've read something by him. I forget about that book.
Book, though.
I've never read Plagueis, but like I've seen like
Tarkin,
Tarkin, yeah, that's right.
Catalyst, yeah, Catalyst.
I've seen what like the success of that book is, even though it's EU. I think it's this again, a slam dunk. Sports. I'm gonna say 95%. If they were,
Wow.
Is there a Palpatine novel in the works, or we're just
No, nothing's
totally?
been. I'm sure there's one in the works, but nothing's been announced.
Because like, I think explaining Palpatine's plan or how he got to be, you know, what it looks like Mojo from X-Men. That would be good for a book. So yeah, just put James Luceno in. Give him the props. He's the one that kind of gets this character quite a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. I would be down for that. I'm gonna go. They haven't used him in a while though. I'm gonna go 65. I think perfect author for it. I think it's a slam dunk. I think that's why there's a 35% chance they won't. It'll be somebody else that won't do as well of the job. What did I say that a lot? I did. I'm good for. I want that to happen. I hope that it gets announced before Celebration. But that would be a rad. You know, it'd be cool if they announced it in like April, and then at Celebration there's a James Luceno, Ian McDiarmid panel about the book.
Yeah.
That'd be crazy cool.
Yeah.
I'd be down for that. So I'm going to 65%. All right, that is our Never Tell Me the Odds, brought to us by Patreon. Check us out on Patreon, patreon.com/Rebel Scum Podcast. Brock, you ready for the news?
You know it.
Hollow News.
It's just hollow news.
We got the Hollow News live from Coruscant. I took that right back to the old days.
Did you? Today in the news you need to know about nerds and such. There is a 26.5 million house in the Hidden Hills, California, that has a out of this world Star Wars basement. It's a mansion, of course. It's massive. I forget 18. The whole house is 18,183 square feet home. The basement is the bottom part because that's where basements go. I don't know if you knew that, but in it is just the most crazy Star Wars collection you ever seen. It has re-rendered life-size character mannequins to the point that they're not actual props or costumes from it. It's redone to look better because apparently the original costumes don't look that good when you look at them in real life. There's a full room of unopened figurines in different series. So like it's just glass cases of unopened. It looks like a store. There's a full-size where is it here? Full-size speeder bike. There's models of all the ships just hanging from the ceiling. There's a pillar, and once you enter, apparently, 5 rows of just different types of stormtrooper helmets. There's tons of art, original art, posters, what have you. There's a customized multi-screen gaming center, a 8-seat personal theater, as well as the house itself has tennis courts, indoor and outdoor pools. It's wild. I don't think you can visit it, but it's been put on the internet and people are looking at it like, wow. And I think if the person was ever to sell, he says he wouldn't sell his collection, but like, where would you put all that stuff? It's wild. Check it out. Just put the Star Wars House, California, and you'll probably find it. It's insane. Also this week in California, it was announced that August 27th will be Star Wars Night. Night spelled Nite, I believe. Star Wars Night for Disney After Dark on the 27th, which is the first day of celebration, which just happens to be happening across the street from Disneyland. Not a ton of detail has been noticed. I believe it's a special ticket, which are not on sale. And when it is on sale, we will let you know. But what has been released is the journey begins at Star Wars Launch Bay in Tomorrowland. Includes favorite Disneyland park offerings such plus special experiences and culminates in Batu's auspicious Twin Moons Eclipse Day celebration at Star Wars Galaxy Edge. So that's cool. We will be in town. I really want to go to this, and WGR, wonderful girlfriend Reham, loves Disneyland, so I know this will be easy to talk her into going to this, but I already know she's multi-passes for the park, so that will not be a problem. And in our final news, this is a story James showed me, so if I sound slightly before the show, so if I don't sound like I know what I'm talking about yet, there was a GoFundMe for the Rise of Ben Solo, which raised, as of right now, $90,374, simply for Adam Driver's charity. Where is it? AITAF. Where is the? It's a charity he supports. So this money is just going, and it was just raised because people thought he was great as Ben Solo. I believe because of their achievement. I think they were trying to raise 75,000, so they've surpassed that goal. But I believe James, you said that Adam Driver sent them a video, and looks like Daisy Ridley got involved. So that's pretty wild. Check it out on GoFundMe. The things Star Wars fans get up to. And this has been your Hollow News.
Hollow News. That's a new version of the song that I just created. Also,
thank you to our Patreons that mentioned that, or our fans that mentioned they missed the song. Now I have to listen to this every episode.
And sometimes I just call you in the middle of the week and I sing it to you.
Yeah. It's great.
One time I came up with a rap and it was quite terrible.
I rip and I rap. I rhyme and I rip.
we have one more bit of Hollow News before we get to our top 5. We're gonna hang out with Jericho Kane, who is over at Galaxy's Edge. Let's go say hi to him. Jericho's here.
Hello.
He plays.
Hey, what's up?
He plays Fallen Order. Hi, Jericho. Thanks for joining us.
I do play Fallen Order.
Have you beat the
That's
game?
all I do with my life.
Yeah, you don't have school or anything.
I do, but I'm almost
Well, you're here today to rub something in Brock's face. So
yes, I am.
Brock hung up when he left, and now he's gonna go use Andrew as a punching bag.
He's a good punching bag.
Yeah.
Well, a little while ago, you sent me a picture of you at a certain location wearing a T-shirt that said #make Andrew Cannon. I want you to talk to us about that.
I was at Galaxy's Edge. I was in front of the Millennium Falcon.
Yes, you were.
As it's pronounced. It's really just an amazing experience. It's really, I can't, it's almost hard. I'm almost speechless about it. Like I have a lot to say about it, but at the same point, like it's just crazy. It's like the coolest thing that I've ever experienced.
Is it, so you would say it's worth going to that park?
Yes, for sure. It's definitely worth it. It's the one that I went to. So I went to Orlando, which was part of the Hollywood Studios kingdom, I guess you could call it. So it was like free. It was like with the admission of Hollywood Studios, you could go to Galaxy's Edge. The rides weren't too bad. Like the lines weren't bad. I think when we rode the Falcon the first time, it was like 45 minutes of a line.
That's not bad.
And then, but what was really cool is the lines, the way that they had the lines, like you would actually walk through, like you would walk around the ship, and then like for part of the line you were inside the hallways of the Millennium Falcon, and it was like you actually felt like the lines were entertaining almost, like
Right.
you felt like you were in that world, so you could like keep yourself occupied for a while, which I thought was really helpful.
Is
and
that
really
where,
cool.
is that where you see Hondo? Is that the walk? Is Hondo in that part?
Yes, he's like, so like you go through the most of the line, and then there's like the Hondo thing where he kind of tells you about the mission that you're going on, because everything there is like in character. Like you're in Star Wars, and he like tells you about the mission and everything, and then you go through another door, which is where you enter like the kind of main area of the Millennium Falcon, where like the table is with the game that they played, and the different that kind of big room, and then you can go down multiple different hallways, and they have like the cockpit and stuff, and that the ride is the cockpit. So
Yeah.
So what was your position when you got? So take us through the ride. So you get on there, and I've heard that there's 4 different positions. So is it a 4-person ride?
So there's 6 chairs in it, basically. So it's like the 2 extras from the actual one in the movies. There's 3 different positions technically, so there's 2 for each. So there's 2 pilots, which are in the front. There's 2 gunners, which are the next row back, and then 2 technicians in the one behind that. So the first time I rode it, I was a gunner. And basically you just kind of sit there, and a button lights up, and you press the button when it lights up. Wasn't the best part. Like, it was still really cool because you're on the Millennium Falcon, and it's like a simulation, so it moves around, and it feels like you're actually in the ship and everything. But so I'm like trying to film the window while pressing the button on the side. So I'm like really just want to look out the window, but like but then the second time, so I rode it again at night. It was actually the night that the Rise of the Resistance came out. I'm like, everybody's gonna be at that ride, so I'm gonna go try and be the pilot this time. I got the pilot, and you actually do have some, it seems like, some control over the actual ship. Like you can actually kind of steer it a little bit and stuff. So that was really cool. I've been told that there's like, because it's like a simulation, it's like a video that's kind of playing. If you're a better pilot, it will skip past certain parts to make it like easier. So like if you actually, so you do have control like over like an alternate ending or things like that, which I thought was really cool. I only experienced like the one, and then my mom was piloting too. She wasn't as good, so I was like trying to pilot with both sides.
So if you go with a group of 6, can you each decide what positions you are?
Yes, if you go with a group of 6, you can. We just went with 2 and then some random other people. We just happened to get in front to get the pilot, so
nice.
It's kind of just the order of the people, basically. But if you like get with a group of people and like talk about what you want to do and everything, I'm sure. And like I was even like seeing some people like they were making friends and like just making groups of 6 because they wanted to do certain. So
are you a rides person, like, or
surprisingly I'm usually not a rides person, but Star Wars, I'll ride anything.
But is it
so like that sounds like you and I are kind of the same. Like how would you qualify this ride? Is it like a fast ride? Do you feel dizzy after it, or is it more of an experience ride?
It's more of an experience ride. I didn't feel dizzy or anything. I have never really liked roller coasters. I've always hated roller coasters. But it was kind of like, so you're kind of like in a room. If you guys, have you ever ridden the, what's it called? Star Tours thing?
Yeah.
It's pretty much the same as that, but it's a little bit smaller. Like you're in the cockpit of the Millennium Falcon. So it moves around and stuff, but it's not like super fast or crazy. Right. It's kind of like shaky, like if you bump into like an asteroid or something, or
you feel a vibration.
Yeah.
Oh, sick.
It's pretty sweet.
So Brock, we're gonna have to get in a group of 6 and create our own things. Oh, I lost your image, Brock. Not surprising.
I was told that they added the end scene of the Rise of Skywalker with all the ships to the Star Tours video, so you actually
Yes.
feel like you're in one of the ships. I didn't, of course the movie wasn't out when I went there,
Yeah.
so I didn't get that experience, but
Yeah, for reference, you went around the Christmas break.
I
time.
went around Christmas break, yeah.
Right.
Just,
And
like,
I
earlier in
can't
December.
remember. Did you go on Rise of the Resistance?
No, I did not.
No, right.
It opened like a day before I left,
Yeah.
and it was like so busy, and like
Yeah.
we did get to talk to somebody as we were leaving that wrote it, and they like got there in the morning and didn't get to ride until like 10 o'clock at night.
Wow.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So they were like, but the nice thing is like they put you in a queue, and then it's on your phone, so you can still walk around and do stuff.
Mhm.
That's
And
smart.
then they'll say
That's so
we're
smart.
boarding group 17, and if you're in group 17, you have to go over there. So that way you can like still experience things and walk
Alright.
around.
So let's talk about experience things. So Smuggler's Run is obviously the one, Brock, you know you're going to beeline it for the Millennium Falcon. Everyone wants to go on the Millennium Falcon, right?
Of course.
But you're there. There's other things to experience. What were some of the highlights that you had over at Galaxy's Edge, aside from Smuggler's Run?
Yeah. All of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was so basically one of the things that I really liked about it, Galaxy's Edge, was the fact that every employee, every person there was in character. They also called it Batu, like the planet of Batu is where you are, and it's the Black Spire outpost. And they even had their own language. I actually was looking up some of it because I didn't remember it. But like when they say good morning, they'll say things like bright suns or rising moons for evening. They have their own terms. One of them is like when you say farewell, you say till the spires, which I thought was really cool. So they will fully talk in character, really just to make you feel like you're in it. The trash cans look like gonk droids, kind
Awesome.
of, and the people emptying the trash are dressed up like everything. It's crazy. I even got these little this is like a Coca-Cola bottle here,
Nice.
Yeah.
and it looks like a thermal detonator.
Yeah, that's cool. They're having
So I
trouble
got
putting
that
those on planes for a little while, if you remember.
Yeah, I heard. I was able to get them back, thankfully. So I was gonna be upset if I couldn't.
Did you get any blue milk while you were there, or green milk?
I did get blue milk.
So you
And
chose the
green
blue milk.
I tried both.
Oh, okay. Which did you prefer?
I think blue is my favorite. Although, you know, if you want to reenact the best scene in The Last Jedi, you gotta have the green milk.
Do you actually, when you get the green milk, do you have to milk a space cow to get it?
You don't. You don't. So there's like I wish you did. I actually don't. But there's a stand where they sell it. They sell like alcoholic and non-alcoholic. I didn't get the alcoholic version because I usually don't like things with alcohol, but it was pretty good. It tasted kind of like it was like fruity, kind of like tropical, but like you could also taste milk.
Interesting. And that's all made with almond milk, I believe. I think it's vegan, actually, if I'm not mistaken.
It probably is. I didn't know what it was made of, but
Yeah,
it did. Now that I think about it, it did have that kind of almond milk taste. So
It's just
Did
a
you
bag of
buy
almonds.
Did you buy any like merchandise or?
so I bought a few things. I have this patch. I haven't put it on anything. It's like a rebel patch.
Nice.
It's actually leather. You can just stick it on.
Oh,
It
cool.
has like a peel and stick on it. You can just stick
Oh,
it on
yeah.
something. Which kind of contributes to costumes. Another big thing at Galaxy's Edge is like they want you to dress up. Now as far as I know, the rules for like dressing up is like you can dress 75% like a character, but like the other 25% has to be different because like there's people dressed up as characters. So like I can wear the Han Solo shirt and the vest, but not the boots or the pants.
So weird. It's like you can wear half of Chewbacca's
It is
costume.
Yeah.
You can wear.
You can't wear masks.
Okay,
So
you can
couldn't
wear
the Chewie mask.
You can wear like the Chewie onesie, Brock, but you have to have the hood off. Is basically it. And I know you
Yeah.
want to go to California or Orlando in the summer with a Chewie costume on.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, so I guess I guess it's just that, and then you can't take like holsters in either, because like weapons and everything, which makes
Yeah.
sense.
Absolutely.
Which is
Lot of-
funny
there's a
because
lot
you
of
can buy a
security.
lightsaber there, but
Yeah, yeah,
they control that, I suppose.
they can. They usually want you to keep it concealed, but that's their excuse at least. I don't know. I think that's because of the in character
Mhm.
type thing. The First Order is everywhere, and they're trying to hide the lightsabers. Even the workshop where you build the lightsabers, I did not find it because I didn't know where it was, because it's actually hidden
Yeah, I heard
on
that.
purpose as part of the
That's
like
so-
experience. So I definitely need to go back and make one, because I was disappointed when I found out that I missed it.
Yeah, that's one of
But-
my goals is to make. Well, I think to make a lightsaber. Brock, what about you? Make or buy a lightsaber, or neither?
I don't know. I'm more interested. I think I said this to James off camera. Is like I'm more interested in buying a kyber crystal.
Well, would you get a
It's like-
holocron for
yeah.
that?
Ooh, or a holocron. Like those things interest me way more.
But I think you
Something
need the kyber crystal to go
You need
into.
both.
Yeah, you need the kyber
Okay,
crystal's like
so-
useless without one, right, Jericho?
You get the kyber crystal with the lightsaber, which you could take it out and put it in the holocron if you wanted to, or if you
Can
didn't like
buy
the,
a kyber crystal by itself.
you can,
Yeah,
You
that's what
can.
I mean. Like
but
something
it
like
doesn't really do anything.
it,
unless
I
you
know
have-
because it's a toy.
No, but if you put it in the holocron
I
or it
understand.
talks
You get
to you.
different-
Yeah,
You get different messages,
and you don't
based
know
on
who
the
you
color.
get.
Yeah,
Did you? Yeah, that's. Oh man, I would probably
And then
get
there's-
Yaddle.
and you can change the lightsaber colors, so that's pretty cool.
If you have a red kyber crystal, Joker, you need to know the answer to this. And I am pure at heart. Can I bleed? Can I turn that white?
I don't know.
Can you imagine if I got like a purple kyber crystal and I touched it and it turned red? What would that say about me as a person? That I'm a Sith. Anything else that stood out for you while you were at the galaxy? That people, if you're going there, need to. You're like, this is something little that I saw that
Oh,
you need
man.
to check out.
I honestly, man, that's hard. That's a hard question. I really wanted to go to the cantina, the one, because there's a few different restaurants there. There's like the one that you have to like get reservations to go
Yeah.
into, and that's the one I didn't get to go to. But I'm pretty sure what I've seen of it, it looks kind of like Mos Eisley Cantina inside of it. So I really want to go to that someday. I want to go back.
Did you?
I would say the Millennium Falcon was my favorite thing there.
Oh,
I
how
Just 'cause
hard
the
was it
experience
taking
of
a
it.
picture in front of that?
It wasn't too hard. There was just a lot of people there.
Yeah, yeah.
You can there is a line where you can get photos taken in
Oh,
front of it. And they'll kind of move people out of the way. So I definitely want to do that next time. But I also want to go in a costume next time just to kind of experience that. I didn't really go last time. But yeah, I think a big thing is to go in costume is really cool, because even when you're dressed up, the stormtroopers will pull you out of the crowd a lot more likely because you're dressed up,
Oh,
and
cool.
people interact with you more. So I think that's definitely something that I'd like to try out again.
Yeah, that sounds awesome. Brock, well, who are you going to dress as?
Brock's mink.
Ah, they would totally play hey, Brock, get over here. Bah, 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 Brock's mink.
The problem with those costumes is they're not really good for weather. You know what I mean?
I don't know.
Yeah,
You could dress as an
it wasn't
Ewok.
too bad when I was, but
Mm.
the weather,
But,
the weather's different. So
Did you encounter any of those fun I don't know what they call them, but not so much they walk out and they're here's the stormtroopers, but there's supposed to be some rebel spy that you could follow around. There's a storyline. Or did you encounter anything like that was interesting?
I didn't know about that. I
Yeah,
found out a ton more information afterwards, just because I was intrigued and wanted to learn more about it. I guess there's an app on your phone that you can go through a scavenger hunt with rebel
Yes.
spies and do all these different things, and I didn't really do that. I did talk to a few of the employees, but I didn't
Nice.
fully
Yeah.
go into that. I even saw some people that were in costume got to go. They got to cut in line on the Millennium Falcon because the people were interacting with them and oh, you have to go on this mission with us, and it
What?
was
What?
really cool. So yeah, get a good costume, be in character, or even make your own character. I thought that was really cool. So
I'll make my own character. I'll go as Brock.
it was
Brock is the #1 Star Wars character to go as. I'll wear a red T-shirt that says Stephen King.
Yeah.
It will be awesome. Anything else you want to know, Brock?
No, that's awesome. Do you highly suggest it? I know you were there for one day.
I was there, so I got to go like 2 days, but
2
I
days.
didn't spend the whole day there. I wanted to. I could have spent like a week there, but
Yeah, of course. But like,
it's
do you have
not
any
even that
tips?
big. But like, yeah, I could spend hours there.
It's not huge. I think some people are disappointed with that, but I think it's people that they don't like to wait in lines and stuff. So it's like, well, it's Disney and it's the new park. Like, what do you?
And I
expect?
think that's what you have to remember is this is a part of Disney. It's not its own park, right?
Yeah.
It's like it's not even like Harry Potter where you could, like you said, you pay for admission to Hollywood Studios, you get in. It's not like Harry Potter where you need 2 parks to experience the full effect of it.
But from the 2 days you were there, do you have any tips? Like, I mean, you kind of mentioned a few things, but it's like, is there anything? It's like, do this or avoid this or bring this.
Bring a paycheck.
I would say
Checkbook.
I would say like dress up as a character. That's something that I
Alright.
think would make the experience more fun and like interactive. Just being in that world, trying to embrace that even more.
Yeah.
I would say go to the rides that aren't as busy. Like if a new ride comes out, go to the other ones. Because you can get in line for them. Like the second time when we went to the Falcon again, when the Rise of the Resistance just came out, we were in there in like 10 minutes. There was barely anybody in line, and I got to be the pilot. So like I definitely do. And at night too, I would definitely go at night because it's a completely different like atmosphere at night. I think if I remember correctly, they even had like 2 moons in the sky somehow.
Oh,
Somehow Disney did that.
they
But,
probably
like-
just hired we need another moon, and they send NASA and that new Starfleet up
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah, but definitely check it out. It's definitely I would like to go back and really just spend a lot more time like going there. I was with family, I was with a group of people, so I couldn't be there the whole time. But I want to go back with some friends and just like get to take everything in more and like experience all of it.
Absolutely. All right. Well, thanks for coming on here and talking about your experience for Galaxy's Edge. Brock can't wait to get there. I think he's going to change his whole trip now in August when he goes to just go to Galaxy's Edge. He's like, oh, we're going to land and we're going to live in Galaxy's Edge. We'll live on Batu.
Just dress up.
Yeah.
Nobody will know.
you just pretend, say hot spires or whatever, and no one will know that you're not from there. Deep spires and extra moons. All right, Jericho, thanks so much for joining us. Brock, you want to go over to some
Thank
top
you.
5?
Let's do it.
Top 5.
What's our top 5 today?
Today's
Mr.
top
James?
5 is this was one that just had to be done. Had to be done. Top 5 Baby Yoda memes.
Boom.
Top 5 Baby Yoda memes. Let us know your top 5 in the comments below. Tweet us with yours. Put them on Facebook, on facebook.com/RoboscumPodcast. Instagram us, whatever. Show us your top Baby Yoda memes. We want to see them all. Because I told Erin we were doing this, and she's spent the entire night just like, look at this one, look at this one, look at this one. Very excited over them. Who can get enough Baby Yoda? Nobody.
Nobody.
It transcends.
It makes me
Star
tired.
Wars. All right, my number 5 is this one right here. My dog's face when I go back in the house after I forgot something. That's exactly. I relate to this one now because I am new to owning a dog, and that is exactly when I walk up the stairs I get that look. So it's pretty hilarious. Brock, your number 5.
My number 5 is one of the newer memes. It's George Lucas holding the Baby Yoda puppet, which has blown up as the new thing that they're redoing. But it's a meme no matter what. It's wild. And I love pointing out that something that James showed me when he sent it to me. It's like, I love that this is from Jon Favreau, and I also love that it's out of focus.
It's like he snuck the picture in. Like, oh my god!
You're the main guy. You can do this.
No, it's like he could have hired a camera crew to take it, but instead he's like, I'm just gonna take it on my. It's probably a flip phone too, like the original camera phone. Just took that one. All right, my number 4. This one features The Marriage Story, Adam Driver saying, The Mandalorian is a side story. I am Star Wars now.
I am Star Wars now.
There was the other one I had for this one was the one where he says Manda, and the Baby Yoda says Manda. Lorian, the Mandalorian. It goes, The Baby Yoda Show. That was my alternate to that one. All right, Brock, your number.
Mine is he protect, he attack, but most importantly, he eat a frog for a snack. I like this meme. This misspelling of protect or whatever. It's a different word everyone and it rhymes, right? I have like I took English in school, so I do get annoyed when things are misspelled like this, but there's just something that works so well with Baby Yoda.
Yeah,
it
does.
And just like I like people focusing on the fact that he eats frogs. There's one where like he's like him and Kermit are having a conversation. He's like, and Kermit's like, I don't trust you or something like that. Yeah.
Oh, I love that one. All right, my number 3 is this one right here. How you look when your dad says you can help around the house and you just hold his tools the whole time. It's just. But the thing about this one is it's 100% accurate. It's just stupid.
It's funny because it's like a lot of these memes are just the same pictures being reused, but in a different like way, or like something's photoshopped, like this one.
Well, my number 2 is basically the exact same as this one.
Yeah.
It's just stupid. What's your number 3?
Mine is this dialogue between the Mandalorian and Baby Yoda. He's like, close your eyes, bro. He's like, okay, bro. What do you see, bro? Nothing, bro. That's my life without you, bro. Bro.
That one was in my original top 5, but when you selected that one, I replaced it because we can't double up on the memes, we can't have duplicates. There's too many good ones. My number 2, bro. My number 2, me at the Italian restaurant while the waiter covers my dish in Parmesan cheese. And it's true. I'm just like, keep going. And I just give them that stupid stare while they're it's like, more. Oh, it's those baby eyes, Brock. It's those Bambi eyes just staring up the innocence of a child, a wise child.
It's like that one video it's like more of a GIF now, I think, where it's this kid, a group of kids at a birthday party, and they're bringing out the cake and they're all like clapping and stuff. And there's one kid that's just like super excited for the cake, like just like what? That's the reaction that Baby Yoda has in this. My number 2, I like to call it sassy sipping soup because there's so many versions of this. I mean, this picture, like I said earlier, like these pictures get overused for different types of memes, but this one. It's just the pose he has as he's holding the soup.
Yes.
And this one is your mom when she tells you check underneath the tree, but she's been telling you all year ain't gonna be no Christmas. It doesn't like that one's not specifically, but like just that style of the meme is amazing.
Yeah. So good. Well, that plays into my number 2. That one is so good though. I also love the one that's mom's on Christmas morning sipping, and then dad's on Christmas morning, and it's Yoda just in shock, like amazed. My number 1 is the same type of thing. It's Baby Yoda with curlers in.
Yeah.
Me outside at 7 a.m. in freezing temperatures, making sure my dog goes poopy. And it's like that's me every morning, just like go. So like a cup of coffee, just hurry up and go. Kind of it's just somebody photoshopping curlers on Baby Yoda with that. Okay, we talked about this a little bit on the live stream. That Mandalorian panel at Celebration, they know they have Baby Yoda.
Yeah,
it's just like it's impressive that nobody blew out. Okay, Brock, you're number 1.
My number 1 is again a specific type of meme. It's the one that I think kind of launched this whole idea of us doing it. It is the chicken nuggy chalky milk Baby Yoda memes. This one I picked specifically. When I see my dog take my chicky nuggy. There's just something always funny about people shortening food names.
Yes,
like
absolutely.
Chicken tendies, chicken nuggies. I got my I don't know. It's just great. I think it's something for our generation too, because it's like we were the first to like really understand chicken. I don't want to go into this, but like our parents didn't drink chocolate milk like we did, or chicken strips and chicken, like that's something in the last like 30 years. So I don't think there's a love for it. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm looking into it, but the concept, it's like it's just a ongoing gag. It's like, oh, I gotta get when your dog eats, or like there was a bunch like when you don't have any more chicken nuggets, or your dad drank the last glass of chalky milk. I can't. I really can't wait till this creature gets a name and can talk.
Oh my god. Yeah, that one was Yoda's second word comes before his first word. It's another good meme. Yeah, and we have a tweet out there. He walked off the set of The Mandalorian Season 2.
Yes. Oh, sorry. Honorable mention for her.
He didn't get enough chicken nuggets.
The other one is like, you know, the one where the women are yelling at a cat, but someone drew it where it's like Obi-Wan and Anakin as the two women, and then Baby Yoda behind the table.
Baby Yoda, yeah.
Or no, I think it started originally as Yoda. No, I might be wrong there.
Well, there's one with Baby Yoda and Quill and the Mandalorian, and they're there. Din Djarin.
Yeah, isn't it wild that we're still not calling him by his actual name?
His name is, I don't know. He's the Mando.
Yeah, Mando. I'd rather call him Mando.
Yeah, for sure. I think that's why they never reveal his name earlier, because like, everyone's just gonna call him Mando anyway.
Yeah.
Sounds way cooler. All right, 152 episodes in the bag. We've done them. Shoo along. We didn't even touch our rundown today, Brooke. So we have something to talk about next week. So that's fantastic. It's been a lot of fun. Thank you to Jericho for joining us on Hollow News. Thank you, Brock, for reading Hollow News, because I can't read, so I can't do that part. I'm not very good. And it's been a lot of fun. And once again, let us know your Baby Yoda memes in the comments below. Yeah. Brock?
Yeah.
You were always scum.
What? How dare you? Rebel scum.
Hey scumbags, thanks for watching. Don't forget to give us a thumbs up on our video. As always, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, Rebel Scum Podcast, for all the latest videos.